The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Jabron.
From the FBI show, the School of Rock, from Staten Island, New York, coming man everywhere, friends. The Pavarotti of hard stuff, the party of Python got it going on.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Hello, everybody. It is Sunday evening, and this is Vince Russo, and I'm here with my good buddy Vito Lagrasso. This is Getting Color. This is the show where myself and Vito, we meet up once a week, and we basically talk about things that are on our mind, not necessarily professional wrestling. Tonight, we have a little bit of a mixed bag. As you know, I asked Vito what he'd like to talk about tonight. And Vito, what did you tell me you'd like to talk about tonight?
Well, first, I'd like to say hello to all the fans out there. Really good to be back on Getting Color. One of the best shows on the brand, because the brand as a team puts out a great collection of shows for all the fans to watch, to enjoy, and listen to. Tonight's subject will be social media.
All right,
Social
well, Vito,
media.
yeah, since you wanted to discuss this, go ahead, bro. I'm going to let you take the ball. I'm going to let you run with it, and then we'll go from there.
All right, guys. Now, I know there's been a lot of controversy on Twitter with social media and what people say, how they act when they talk about politics, how they carry themselves, cursing, the vulgar comments, talking about women, talking about sex, talking about races, talking about creed. But I just want to say that social media has given an outlet to where people sometimes have too much to say, and people have too many things to discuss, and that's why you have much more controversy in the world today, such as, I'm not a politician. Vince Russo is not a politician. Vince and I both are not into the politics scene. I really don't. I've never voted in my life, people. I've never cast a vote. I never went to the polls. I never did anything. Do you want to know my views on it? Because it doesn't matter what I say or what anybody else says, okay? At the end of the day, we have to live our lives by what other people's rules are anyway. So it doesn't matter what kind of concept you have. The president is the president. And when you talk bad about the president, I mean, it's just, you know, I guess because Vince and I are from a different era than a lot of people today. And a lot of those values we were brought up with, they're not carried out today. And some people, they take social media way too serious, and they think they have a voice. Well, if you were doing this in Cuba, if you're doing this in Turkey, if you were doing this in other countries, you'd be shot, you'd be hung, you'd be put in prison. But I think overall, like especially the wars you have on Twitter where people say a lot of things, especially the podcast world where people have a lot to say, there's a time and a place to do these things, okay? And especially in sports where people take a knee, because football is one of the biggest things we have going on with people protest. And I think people lose the concept of what you're protesting. If you protest for one thing, you know, and then you have 50 things you're protesting for, and people forget what we're protesting about. I think it's sad when it carries into children's sports, because when you have kids who are playing ball and they're taking a knee, why are they taking a knee? Because the coach says you should, or because they see the pros doing it? But do they really understand the concept of what's being done today? Vince, I think I gave a great opening. What are your views on some of the things it said?
Well, you know, Vito, I'm looking for something in particular. I want to read this. It's right here because, bro, it's something that you just said about, like, you know, now the pros take a knee, so the kids see that on TV. They don't even know what the pros are taking a knee for, so they take a knee. And bro, I was preparing for my radio show last Sunday night, bro. I did the radio show here in Denver, and there was one thing like I didn't get to, and I'm just going through my notes right here because, you know, you're talking about social media, and I read this, bro. Listen, Snoop Dogg, bro, listen, I don't like rap. Okay, I've never
Right.
liked rap, but if you like rap, bro, like I don't care. If you're a fan of rap, that's cool. I've got my opinion on rap. I'm not a fan of rap, bro. If people like rap, that's cool. You like rap. Okay, bro. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg has a very outgoing personality. The guy's funny, the guy's colorful. I don't have any issues whatsoever with Snoop Dogg, even though I don't like rap. I separate the two, right, bro?
Right.
Bro, he said a couple of weeks ago, and there was so much going on, bro, in the news, that this kind of, got under the radar because of, all these guys with the sexual harassment and, inappropriate and being this and that. Bro, Snoop Trump puts out a tweet a couple of weeks ago, right? And it was when Marshall, what is it? Marshall Lynch, what's his face?
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, took the knee when he was told not to take a knee. He said some things about the president, and basically, President Trump turned around and says, "You know what? If the guy takes a knee again, just fire his ass." He said something like this. Okay, well, bro, Snoop Dogg comes back. And here was Snoop. So on social media, this is what the guy tweets out about the president of the United States. And again, bro, I say the president of the United States. I don't care who it is. If it was Hillary, John F. Kennedy, Gerald Ford, the Bushes, it doesn't matter. To me, it's the president of the United States. And we put that person in office. We did that. So I'm old school like you, Vito. We've got to respect the office. We've got to respect the authority. So Snoop didn't like what he said about Marshall and Lynch. And he turned around and he goes, this is what he said, bro. Garbage piece of shit. Let's suspend your mother effing ass. He ain't my president. And bro, so I'm reading what Snoop Dogg says. Garbage piece of shit. Let's suspend your mf'er ass. He ain't my president. And bro, here's what I immediately think of. Bro, how many kids idolize Snoop Dogg? How many kids love Snoop Dogg? Millions, bro, millions and millions and millions. So, bro, here's where, like, bro, nobody's responsible on social media. Nobody. But bro, here's where I would hope, Vito, that celebrities, public figures would take a little bit of responsibility in what they say. Because even if Snoop feels this way, bro, and he has the right to feel any way he wants, Vito, bro, he puts out a statement like this. Now kids are on social media. Now kids are reading his tweet. Now what are kids thinking, bro? Kids are thinking it's all right to call the president of the United States an MFer.
Right.
You see what I'm saying, bro? And that's how it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And again, bro, like can celebrities or somebody in the public life, can we have a little bit of responsibility about the things we say on social media, knowing, bro, the effect that it may have on other people? Because like I said, bro, the first thing when he said about this was, bro, I don't care what he says about Trump. You could say whatever you want about Trump. At the end of the day, bro, that's our president, and kids are going to read this. And what are they going to do, bro? They're going to go into school the next day. Hey, man, did you read on social media? Snoop Dogg called, President Trump an MFer. And they're going to laugh about it, and it's going to be okay. So now they're going to form an opinion off of what their hero Snoop Dogg said. Go ahead, Vito.
Now, I'm going to take this because both of us are in the wrestling business, and being in the wrestling business, okay, we are celebrities and public figures. So when I know Vince Russo has been in the podcast business for a very long time, he's been in the business, 25, 26 years. And he's been ridiculed by a lot of individuals. They mention his name on the podcast. A lot of people mention my name on podcasts. Now, our views on how to handle things are two different ways of handling things. Vince Russo, he does fire back and he goes after him. He states his opinion. Me, I choose not to acknowledge you and don't make you that big a deal, because if I'm making a big a deal, that means that you mean something to me. You don't mean nothing. And it doesn't matter what you say. People have been talking crap about me for a long time, and I never fight back. I just let it go because at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me, and I really don't care about it. Vince being in the position where he's been like at a more focal point, a more visible subject to talk about, because people talk about WWE, WWF, WCW, TNA, and now that we're in the podcast business, and everybody tries to get a rise and think they're getting ratings. How about getting ratings on your own ability by being just Vince or being just Vito? Now, everybody who listens to me on the show, you can honestly say I've never come on here and I never bash nobody. That's not my style. I come here to give an intellectual, talk about what's on my mind or what the subject is, give my honest opinion. Me being an experienced guy, me being a public figure, it's all about how you carry yourself. Now we'll talk about what the brand stands for. Now, we have a lot of people at the brand who all do a good job. We all work as a team. We all try to push each other, When one person tries to knock the other person, that doesn't help anybody because you're knocking the team. Or when you go against the guys in your own company, that's not good business, in my opinion. We're supposed to build. It's supposed to be team players. I don't have to like Vince Russo. Vince Russo don't have to like me. But if we make a good impression on the public and the people want to see what we're about, and they want to listen to our podcast and they want to download it, hey, we're a good mix. We're good business. But nobody wants to hear any racial slurs. Nobody wants to hear about politics. Nobody wants to hear about this. Nobody about that. Try to appease the public. Being in this forum here that we are, Vince, maybe he's not that fond of wrestling. Maybe he likes to talk about other things. Me, I used to be fond of wrestling. It's not the top of my list right now. I'll talk about it because we both are experienced. Is it what we want to be doing right now? No. Is it what we know about? Yes. Do people enjoy our voice and our opinion of it? Of course they do. That's what they tune in for. Now, you guys are hearing about social media, and, okay, we're not talking directly about wrestling, but wrestlers are public figures and celebrities, and when they say something, they carry themselves, people listen. Now Vince is on 5 days a week. He has, I'll give it 150,000 listeners. Okay, I'll give that. Yeah, everybody listens, everybody mentors, everybody listens. They chastise, they dig, but at the end of the day, he's a voice in the media. For myself, I'm 100,000 people in here, okay? 100,000 people come to listen to Vito LaGrasso. They listen to the Vito the wrestler, Vito the husband, Vito the dress-wearing guy, the Vito this, Vito that, whatever. But they value what I have to say. When you irritate people in social media, it turns them off. And that's not what you're about. You want to get people to come in your world. You don't want to draw them out. When they draw them out, that's when you have the bad vibes and word of mouth. This is garbage, that garbage, and that's when you have a bad name or a bad vibe going around. This is a positive crew. There's a positive podcast group. The brand is about spreading joy and talking about good things. We have a lot of different individuals who maybe different sex, different look, handicap, black, white, Asian, Chinese, whatever it is. We have a good mix here. We all get along and we all push each other. And then there are some people who are in the brand, Vince, who actually want you to come on their show because you help them and they like who you are. I've been on the Virtue. I've been on a few other DQ, the Super Ugly Show. These guys are cool dudes and they just want to talk wrestling. They want to do that thing. They're happy to have you on. And you got to know what the show's going on. Super Ugly guys, hey, they're a bunch of New Yorkers from the Long Island. They're sitting around talking the crap, but we dig it because we're those kind of people. When you go on other people's shows, you conform to what they're about and you do their thing. Vince Russo has his own philosophy. Vince, don't you do a positive show? What's the name of your show that you do?
Every Tuesday I do a show called That's Life, and it airs on Realm on Tuesday, Podcast One on Wednesday.
That's life. And what do you think Vince talks about? Does he talk about, what's negative in the world, or does he talk about what's positive? Like, and everybody forgets that Vince and I are individuals and we have different things going on in our lives. Nobody knows what goes on in Vince's life. I know what goes on. We talk, we're buddies, and we try to help each other out. Does anybody know what goes on in my life or what I deal with? I was telling Vince the other night, I have this dream. Now, I'm going to let you guys know I have a bad sleeping disorder where I can't sleep a full night. I have these nightmares because there's something wrong. I have these vicious fights, and I'm in fighting, and, you're killing people, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's pretty ugly, guys. And I wake up. The other night, I woke up in a pool of sweat. I was in my father's pizzeria with my two brothers and my father. Somebody tried to rob us. And I went on attack mode, and I started beating the living hell out of these guys. The guys in the dream told me, "You're not even hurting us." I started fighting harder to where I got so vicious, I drugged them out on the street, and there I was beating these men to senseless till I finally exhausted myself. I woke up from this dream, people. I was in a pool of sweat like I was at the gym, okay? And I could still see the faces. I could still see everything. I could still hear the cracks of me hitting them in the face. That's how real it was. These are things I deal with on a constant basis, and it has to do with, some injuries that I have, some things going on. It's part of what I deal with. Vince Russo, anybody know he has, some depression issues, because he gets depressed at times. Maybe this is not the path he wanted in life, but he deals with it. He doesn't bring it out on the brand. He tries his best to be a positive influence. When people look at us, they think, okay, your lives are great. You have money in the bank. You're secure. Okay, my wife is handicapped. I take care of her every day. Vince's life isn't that good. He's 57 years old. He's got a great mind. He's been a producer. He has a college degree. Can he go and work somewhere that he wants and go get a high-paying job somewhere? It's difficult in the market. That's why he's doing this, people. Can Vito LaGrasso go out there and do something physical anymore like I like and what I want it to be? I can't do that because I have to be careful, because in my head I have to be careful what's going on. Would I like to engage in this? I did it for 26 years. So what is my craft? My craft is my experience of the wrestling business, what I know, how to speak and how to carry myself as a professional, how to do things in the world, how to help people. This is what I'm about. Vince Russo has things going on that maybe, you see, and he's intelligent. He has an IQ. He's smart. He gives you the positivity of what it is. He helps people deal with depression, and he deals with the same thing. So when people judge us, you know what I mean, they stand there and they say, social media. Social media stands for a lot of things, not just spewing venom, but how about spreading positivity in the world? And if a lot more people would take that concept instead of just nagging and cursing and being bitter, I think the place would be a lot better off in this world. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, Vito, I'm going to tell you something very poignant happened to me. There were two separate stories going on at the same time. I think it was Thursday. I'm going to tell you about those stories in a second. But before we did, Vito said this is a business, and it is a business, and I got to take care of the business. And Christmas is coming. I think we're 22 days away from Christmas as we record this show. A great, great gift. Pro Wrestling Loot is the monthly pro wrestling mystery box that comes to you monthly filled with wrestling merchandise. This mystery box comes packed with autographed photos, action figures, t-shirts, and exclusive collectibles that you just won't find anywhere else. Sign up now at ProWrestlingLoot.com for just $19.99 monthly with no commitments, which means you can give it for a month at Christmas. You're not going to sign into any kind of long-term commitment. For all of you first-time subscribers that sign up now, you'll also save 10% off your first month's box by using the promo code Russo. That's 10% off the first month's box by by using the promo code Russo. If you want the hottest wrestling items spanning through all eras of wrestling, my favorite, as you know, being the Attitude Era, then Pro Wrestling Loot is for you. From legends and Hall of Famers to the biggest indie stars, and even I, Vince Russo, was included in a Pro Wrestling Loot mystery box, a real nice photo that I signed. Head over now to ProWrestlingLoot.com and remember, save 10% off your first box by using the promo code Russo. Again, that's ProWrestlingLoot.com. A great, great, great gift for the wrestling fan. Vito, there were two instances that happened to me simultaneously on Thursday, and I'm going to tell you, bro, I made the decision on Thursday. Bro, I'm done with social media. I had already killed, bro. I was already forced a couple of months ago to kill my Facebook account because there was so much negativity on there. I don't know what happened, bro, but, people started DMing my wife, and my wife started reading, hateful things towards me. I said, enough. I canceled all my Facebook accounts. So, bro, the only thing I really had left was Twitter. And Vito, I'll be honest with you, bro. I use Twitter for two reasons, really. Number one, to promote the show and to promote everything that we're doing. And number two, bro, I try to use it as a means to stay in contact with the people of the brand and the people that subscribe to the brand. I like having relationships with them. I like them knowing that I am accessible to them. And those were really the two reasons why, I use Twitter. I hate the negativity, bro. The negativity depresses me. It always gets me down. But I deal with it because, again, bro, I need to promote our brand, and I like to talk to, our subscription base. And not only our subscription base, but the people that listen to Podcast One, people that listen to the show. Well, bro, two things happened simultaneously on Thursday. One of them was minor, but one of them was very major and made me say to myself, you know what, bro, I'm done with it. I'm just absolutely done with it. I have a website, russosbrand.com. When I have something to say or I have something I want to get out there, I'm going to go to my own website and I'm going to get it out there. I can no longer, bro, deal with the negativity and the hatred and the way people carry themselves on social media. I don't want to be a part of it, bro. The first thing was very innocent. Somebody put up a clip of a match in NXT. It was a spot in NXT. And Vito, I did not know the wrestlers in the spot. I did not point out any wrestlers in the spot, but it was, again, bro, one of these dangerous high-risk maneuvers. And I saw this, and I basically said, nobody, if this were a real fight, nobody would do anything like that. Nobody would believe that. It would never happen. And I said, this is why the suspension of disbelief is dead and buried in professional wrestling, because you wouldn't, this was not a believable move. It was a pretty move. So, Vito, when I said did not take a shot at the wrestlers, I didn't even know who the wrestlers are. I just tried to explain this was an acrobatical stunt. This wasn't a psychological move. This move did not make any sense. Nobody's going to believe this move. That was my point. Why do I make that point, bro? Because I've been a wrestling fan for over 40 years. I've been employed in the business for 25 years. The numbers and the followers of the business keeps going down, 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 down. And it concerns me. This is what I do for a living. This is what a lot of other people do for a living. I think I know the problems, so I kind of try to put my opinion out there. These are my opinions why I think people will stop watching. So bro, before I know it, I get a comment from one of the guys in the match, okay? But then to boot, bro, I get a comment from Fit Finley, who I know. I worked with Fit Finley. And Vito, I think you could agree, Fit Finley was one of the most believable wrestlers ever in a wrestling ring. Okay? Yes. So Finley now is going to bat for this kid. First of all, bro, I didn't even know who the kid was. I didn't mention the kid. This had nothing to do with the kid. It had to do with the move. Finley goes to the kid, and of course he tells the kid, you know, I'm Vince Russo is an idiot who's trying to stay relevant. Now, bro, let me point something out. First of all, if I was trying to stay relevant, I would not even be watching wrestling anymore, let alone talk about it, because wrestling is no longer relevant. Wrestling was relevant during the Attitude Era, during Vito's era, because the world was watching. Wrestling has become irrelevant. So if you think for a second I'm talking about wrestling to stay relevant, talking about wrestling makes me irrelevant because nobody talks about it anymore. But, you know, so Fit Finley turns around and says, "Oh, Vince, you're an idiot and you're trying to stay relevant." And I just said, Fit, why am I I'm an idiot because I have an opinion, bro? I'm an idiot because my opinion differs from yours. So he comes back with, "Whoa, well, Vince, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to get down on the kid, you know, who's trying to work his way through the business, this and that." And I said, Finn, get down on the kid. Vito, what have I been saying on this show over and over and over and over again for almost the last 3 freaking years? Okay, bro, I don't watch wrestling, Vito, for people to get hurt. And since wrestling is a work, the amount of people that get hurt should be minimal because it is a work. I also know, bro, from people my age, I know people like you, Vito, a lot of people like you have a window in professional wrestling where you can make money. Once that window closes, bro, you're going to be struggling to support yourself and support your family. So, Vito, my message has been loud and clear. Why do I get so upset about this type of work? It's real easy. Number one, it's not wrestling. It's something else. It's gymnastics / acrobatics. It's not professional wrestling. But more importantly, bro, I don't want to see young guys get hurt and young guys get concussed and young guys break backs and necks when they don't have to, when they can work safe and prolong their careers so they can have a little bit of money in the bank when it's over. So when I make statements, bro, about the crazy moves and the acrobats and these high risk maneuvers, I'm saying it out of caring about these freaking individuals. I don't want them to get hurt. I want them to be safe, and you can wrestle safe. And I've made that freaking loud and clear. Listen, I could care less if you've turned psychological wrestling into a Circus Soleil. I'm not the one losing freaking customers. It's not my audience going down. It's the WWE's audience going down. So if that's what they want to do, I could care less, bro. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that guys stay healthy as long as they can so they can earn freaking money because they got a short shelf life in this business. That's why I'm outspoken, and that's why I say the thing. So, you know, Fit, I wasn't trying to deter the kid. What I was trying to do was smarten the kid up and say, bro, you can have the same effect by working safer. That is my message. So before I get to the second part of that, Vito, do you care to comment on that?
Well, I understand what you're saying, and being that we're sitting on the outside looking in with experience, okay, it's kind of hard for the kid in the position to say no to a spot that the agents or the people in the back want you to do. You try, and they're encouraging them to do it, and that's been wrestling for as long as you know it. Some people have a say and some people don't. Being that this kid is trying to work through the system, he's trying to do everything in his power to impress the powers to be up above to get a job and get called up to the main roster. I understand your point. You want to spread that, you know, safety, and that's what I also try to do, especially now that we're in certain situation. But you're absolutely right by trying to yell out, hey, it's a great acrobatic move. Fit Finlay was not an acrobat. Fit Finlay was a fighter. He was a bruiser. He was a safe wrestler. He was snug. He made it believable. By trying to do these moves, I didn't see the move you're commenting on, but I definitely know what you're speaking about. When you do these acrobatic moves where you're flying off something, you're landing wrong, you're doing something, you're not taking care of the guy, guys, you're going to hurt yourself. Fit Finlay might have been speaking out of turn, and that's another reason for social media, because people don't get the point of what you're trying to say, and then it gets misinterpreted in translation. So Fit is not an argumentative guy, and he will always say hello to you on the street. He'll always say, hey, how you doing? I know his wife for a long time. I've been friends with them for a long time. But in translation and fairness, you know, Vince made an opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. And Fit Finlay shot back, and that's where I think the thing gets, you know, messed up. Calling her an idiot and that, you know, and all that stuff. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Just say, hey, Vince, you know, this is my opinion on it. Kid's trying to make his way through. No need for name calling. You know what I mean? And I think that's the purpose of social media, why we're talking about it, the misinterpretation of what you tweet, what you write, and how people's attitudes are that day and how they take it. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, Vito, here was the icing on the cake for me. And like, I haven't been on Twitter since Thursday. And I don't plan on getting on there anytime soon. You want to talk to me, you can go to my website. That's where I'll be. But here's the second thing, Vito, that ripped my heart out. Vito, I cannot tell you. I honestly cannot put a number. You know, when I came out and said, listen, you know, I deal with depression. I've been dealing with it for 34 years. I refuse to take medication. So I fight through it. It's a daily fight. It's a daily struggle. Okay. Ever since I came out and said that, bro, I cannot tell you just the number of emails and direct messages, text messages. Bro, I hear from so many people on a weekly basis who are struggling with depression. And Vito, I make that my number one priority, to get back to them, to talk to them, to assure them that everything's going to be okay, because I've been there and I'm still here, and I never ignore anybody. I don't fool around with freaking depression, right, bro? And Vito, I got to tell you something. Every time I get an email or a message about depression, it always goes like this: Vince, I'm dealing with a severe depression right now. And then, bro, they immediately list the reasons why. Somebody just wrote to me the other day. They just found out my grandfather has a brain tumor. My wife left me and I can't get over it. I can't find the job. I can't support my family. It's always, I'm dealing with depression, and these are all the reasons why. 100% of the emails I get that say that, Vito, right? So Vito, I had just read somebody's email, you know, about them being depressed and the reasons being, and I went on Twitter and I basically said, listen, if you tell yourself every day I'm depressed, then you're going to be depressed. You know, just if you tell yourself, I don't feel good, you're not going to feel good. If you tell yourself, I got a backache, you're going to have a backache. If you wake up every morning and say, I'm depressed, and you convince your mind you're depressed, then you're going to be depressed. So my message was, you know, if you tell yourself you're going to be depressed, you're going to be depressed. That's how the mind works. You can almost talk yourself into being depressed. I said, wake up today. No depression, bro. Ride the non-depression lane. Look at the glass half full and not half empty. And I think I ended it with something like, it's all about your frame of mind. Okay, right, bro? That's it. And again, bro, these are coming off the tweets that I receive based on my experience and my experience with depression. Bro, all of a sudden, first email, you are an idiot. You shouldn't open up your mouth if you don't know what you're talking about. What about people that have clinical depression? What about, you know, it being a disease with people, this, that, and the other thing? You're an idiot. You need to take back your statement. You need to retract that statement you made. You're asinine. bro, the first thing out of the bat. And I sat here and I said to myself, you know what? First of all, bro, my priority in this whole brand experience has been to help other people. Okay, bro. And I think I do a fairly good job of it, talking them through a bad time. They get back to me. I get back to them. And like I said, bro, a lot of what I deal with, nobody has contacted me because they're clinically depressed. Everybody that has contacted me is depressed because of what's going on in their life. And I tell them, I get it, bro. This is going on in my life and this is what I'm depressed about. But you can't let it affect you up here. But my whole point was, you know what, bro? Even if you interpreted what I said wrong, do you come back with, hey, by the way, Vince Russo, putting yourself out there, letting other people know you deal with depression, trying to help other people, taking the time to talk to them on the phone and talk to them through email? Yeah, you. Do you know you're a freaking idiot? I mean, Vito, rather than say, Vince, with all due respect, I really appreciate what you're trying to do, but don't overlook the fact that there are people that, deal with clinical depression and they might not be able to control the thoughts in their head. That is fine, bro. But I'm going to sit here, a guy that has made it a point to go out on the limb, call people, talk to people, try to help them with a depression. And you're going to sit there and call me a freaking idiot? And bro, it wasn't one person. It was a number of people. And that's when I said to myself, you know what, bro? I'm not going to look at this stuff all day long and get myself freaking depressed. I'm done with it, bro. People know how to get a hold of me. Listen, you want to get a hold of me? You have issues with me that you want to talk to? You can write to me at officialvincerusso@gmail.com. I always get back to you, especially with issues like this, because I put this in high regard. I think it's very important. I'm going to be going to the website more, russosbrand.com. I'm going to be talking on the website there, just about this very topic and several other topics. But Vito, I'm telling you, bro, it beat me. It beat me. And you know what, bro? Maybe I'm weak and maybe I shouldn't let it affect me the way that it does. But, bro, when I'm out here bearing my soul and trying to help people and you're calling me an idiot, when I'm making comments about the wrestling business because I want to see the wrestling business thrive again. I want people to make money. I want people to have jobs. That's the end game. And when I'm putting myself out there as one of the few people not kissing Vince McMahon's backside and saying, you know what, bro, with all due respect, these are the problems. These are why you're losing a fan base. And maybe if you looked at what I said and you looked at these problems, maybe you could start getting these numbers up again. But why do I do that, bro? Because I have a lot of friends that are wrestlers. I have a lot of friends that are unemployed. I have a lot of friends that can't make a living anymore. The business isn't thriving like it once did, bro. And,
right.
and for that, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be an idiot and I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that. You know what, bro? Call each other idiots. Knock yourselves out going forward. And Vito, like you said, with President Trump, I mean, every day, bro, people sitting behind their keyboard calling the president of the United States. And it has nothing to do with being Donald Trump. Vito, do you know? I got to read something to you too, bro. Listen to this, bro. Listen to this. Vito, listen to this. Put yourself in this spot, Vito. Vito, the same day I'm reading about Snoop Dogg calling President Trump an MFer. Okay? Right. Here's what I read this the same day, Vito. I read this the same day. Put this in its perspective. Washington Free Beacon. Claim. Oh no, wait. Let me get the whole thing, Vito. I want to read the whole thing to you. But this came out of the Washington Free Beacon. Listen to this, Vito. The same day, Snoop Dogg is referring to the president of the United States as an MFer. ISIS is reportedly calling for the assassination of President Trump's 11-year-old son, Barron. That's according to the Washington Free Beacon, which claims the call has come from pro-ISIS internet channels. ISIS supporters have reportedly shared a map showing where the child's school is located and other personal information on a Telegram channel. Vito, can you imagine that for a freaking second, bro? I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or John F. Kennedy or Abraham Lincoln. Can you imagine, Vito, being a father and knowing that there is an assassination order on your 11-year-old kid? And Snoop Dogg on the same day is going to sit there and say, oh, that MFer because he doesn't like a football player kneeling. Can you imagine, Vito, having to deal with something like that?
I could tell everybody right now, life and times of Vito LaGrasso. If you ever messed with my family, I always took care of business. I'm not the president of the United States, but being a father, a stepfather of not just one. I don't know if people know, I have one child that's my own. I have raised 13 children that are not mine. 13. That's being a stepfather, people, okay? And for every one of those children who came into my life, I always had their best interests. Anybody bothered them, anybody did anything to them, anybody tried to hurt them, that it's including their own fathers, I always stepped up and took care of business. Being that somebody was ever going to threaten my daughter, it was already known, or word was already on the street. You don't want to mess with that. You don't ever go near that. Don't even try it. There was one individual I'll tell you a story about, and this is pretty good. I was in Florida. My daughter called me up. She says, "Dad, I'm doing writing for some producer, and he wants to do something with you for a movie." I said, "Okay." I says, tell him to give me a call. I'll call him. So we spoke. He was going to bring me in. He's going to do it. So my daughter's doing all this work. And then the guy starts mocking her behind her back and starts making her look the fool. My daughter calls me up and tells me this. She said, "Dad, this is what happened." I said, "Okay, give me the guy's number. Let me call him." I call him. I says, "You did this to my daughter." "Well, it wasn't real." I says, "I'm not saying well, and I don't want an explanation. Did you do this? Yes or no?" "Yes, I did." I said, "Did you do your homework on who I am on Staten Island?" So he goes, "No." I said, "I think you need to do your homework." I says, "Now," I said, "what you're going to do," I says, "you're going to pay my daughter for the work she did. And you're going to stay away from her. And don't ever, ever make the mistake of mocking her or doing anything to her again." He calls me back. He did some research. "I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to do this. Listen, I will give her the money. Then tomorrow," I says, "you go to her job tomorrow. You hand her an envelope. And then you stay away from her the rest of your life." I was in Florida. Comes to the place, apologizes to my daughter, gives her an envelope. I get a phone call. She goes, "Dad, I got this." I said, "The guy came in and he gave me this money." He says, "Did you know this?" I says, "Yeah." "Dad, he had a black eye." I says, "You're kidding me. He must have fell. I can't believe it. Did you get the money?" "Oh, yeah." I said, "Sam, take half the money, put it in your bank account, send me the rest." I says, "and call it a day. You never have to worry about it again." The protection agency of Vito LaGrasso, the father. Being the president of the United States, I'm sure that he has a greater security issue there because people are looking a gun for him. And I'm sure Donald Trump did not get to where he was in life being a nice guy who didn't take care of business. Maybe not by his own two hands, but just having the right people in the right place at the right time. I'm sure he can handle his business. I'm sure if he had to, he can defend his children. Long story short, people, you never challenge a manhood of a man when it comes to their children because he will go all out to protect that person. If you ever make the mistake and go after the person's wife, the mother, brothers or father, I think you're going to make the same mistake. when you put out these threats and you think you're being funny or you're going to kick somebody dead, or the best one I heard is, I'm going to shoot you. I said, you and everybody else in the world who want to take a shot at Vito Labrazzo, I said, go right ahead. I've been up against the biggest and the best. They all think they're tough until it gets time to when they pull it out. And if you pull it out, I hope you use it, because I'm going to take it out of your hand. I'm going to crack you across the head. Then I'm going to beat the shit out of you. So people, these things that we're talking about in social media, these comments you make about Vince Russo, you know, when you call him an idiot because he wants to help you. Talk about Vito Labrazzo because he's a stand-up guy. You talk about this, you talk about that. You talk about people who stand up for a cause, and then you want to mock them, or you want to say, President of the United States is untouchable, people. There's only been one assassination, if I'm correct, in history. It's President Kennedy. Okay, I'm sure there have been other assassination attempts. None of them have been successful.
Abe Lincoln.
Okay, listen, you know, I have mental
Before
issues.
your time, bro.
It's before my time.
Yeah.
We could have had coffee. I don't know. Anyway, but what I'm trying to say, people, is these guys are untouchable. And these guys are not able to do it. Vince Russo, okay? He's not a fighter. He's a man who has a passion about something. He has an opinion. He likes to help people because he's that kind of man. He's trying to give an opinion about things. His opinion is an idiot. He's stupid. He's this. Why? Because he has an opinion. He has a voice. Vito Labrazzo has a voice. Vito Labrazzo has an opinion. I could care less what you have to say. It doesn't bother me like it bothers Vince. Okay? But if you ever try to threaten Vince Russo or his children or Vince's wife, I'm sure that Vince Russo would take care of business as a man. God forbid you ever make the mistake of trying to come on my door. I said, and you try to threaten me or come in my house, you're not leaving. You're going to stay for a while. And then you will call help. We'll call for an ambulance, but you're not leaving. Guys, all this social media, all the talk, all the threats going from the President of the United States to the people who are lower, to guys who do a podcast. Guys, everybody's supposed to get along here. Now, this is something Vince and I talked about today, and I'm going to tell you. We talked about the brand and how we carry ourselves and how we like to carry ourselves. I know there's been a lot of scrutiny, a lot of things said, and I'm going to say this as a member of the brand. We do not, as a team, appreciate cursing, vulgar language, insulting women. We don't have the beliefs of speaking politics on the show. We don't insult each other. Everybody's a co-worker. If you do these things, you will find yourself on the other side of the fence looking for employment elsewhere, because this is not what it's about. We're here to provide a service for the public. We're here to do something to enhance and enrich people's minds. We're here to reach out and touch somebody to where they could say, I had a good day because I listened to the brand. That goes for all shows. That goes for everybody here. That goes from the producer, Jeff Lane. That goes for all the other people around the world who are with the brand, who have podcast one shows, who are dealing with us in this little circle that we have. We want to carry ourselves in a good light, in a certain light, and we want to be respectable human beings in this society. So from here on out, people, if you do have a question or you do have something derogatory to say about the brand, or you don't like something, voice your opinion in the correct manner. You will be heard and you will be answered. If you insult people, name calling, we're adults. We don't do that here. This is not what it's about. Respect each other, because we try to do the same thing to you people. You have the same courtesy for us. And I guarantee you the problems that we've been having on the brand as far as other avenues, politics, cursing, insulting, and other issues, they've been addressed, and we won't be dealing with this anymore. And if it does occur again, the people will be asked to leave and remove themselves from their position. That I can guarantee you, because not only does Vince have the authority, but Vince has to answer to people above him, and Vince has bosses, and his bosses don't like certain things. Remember, we're in the society of social media where Sexual harassment on all levels is being scrutinized. Saying something racial is scrutinized. Saying something that's off color, you're being offensive. That's not what we do here at the brand. Social media has brought that to a new light. This is why I picked this subject tonight, because it doesn't just say with the President of the United States. This goes with all outlets of media, and we are the media. So, guys, your words have been heard on Twitter. Your views have been heard here. But the one thing I have to ask is, if you want us to address you and the public and the world and the brand in a certain way, please do that to us as individuals and address us in a certain way so we can handle the problems accordingly. Calling us names doesn't get anything. Insulting this man here doesn't get anything. You can insult me all you want. I'm going to answer you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you. And you're going to get mad because I didn't put you over. I didn't get angry. But that's going to be my standard response. It's always been every day. Guys, social media, respect it. This goes for all the brand. I hope all the brand listens to this show. We have addressed issues. We have concerns. They've been discussed. And I'm not the boss here. But I'll tell you one thing. If it came down to a fight or came down to something, guess who's Vince Russo's right-hand man? And he knows he wouldn't have to call far. He wouldn't even have to dial the first 3 numbers because he knows I got his back. I've had his back for 26 years. And just so you know something, people, when you talk about depression, I didn't know this man dealt with depression for a long time. Do you know that there was a point where, and I think you remember this, I didn't remember this conversation, Vince, and I would call Vince, and he would never call me back. And went through this for a while, and I got mad. I would send him emails, and I just got mad. I said, why don't you call me back? I said, what's the matter with you? I didn't know it. And finally he told me, he says, Vito, I deal with depression. He apologized to me over and over. And I said, Vince, you should have just told me. I said, I'm sitting here thinking I did something wrong. He said, Vito, it's me. I'm dealing with it. It's hard. So being that said, guys, have compassion for each other. When this guy goes out and talks about real life and positive things, I'll call him an idiot. Say, thank you for your advice. Maybe he's not a doctor. He doesn't know all the proper medical terms to put it in. Maybe there's 50,000 things to depression. He is talking about the one thing he knows. Just like I talk about the things I know. If I went out and spoke about other things, people, I would be an ass and I would be speaking out of turn because that's not my expertise. I speak what I know of, and I don't give nobody any advice unless I know it would work. That's coming from life experience. He's 57 years old. He has experiences that people haven't lived. I'm 53 years old, and I've lived 5 times what you could possibly live in your life, and nobody wants to walk in the shoes of Vito LoGrasso. I can assure you. But just remember one thing, people. We're sitting here doing this. We ain't getting paid a lot of money. Vince gets paid. I don't get paid for this. I do this because I enjoy it. I enjoy working with my friend, okay? Vince makes a living at this. I came on this. I'm doing the best I can. And I'm learning. I've excelled. I've learned how to speak on a podcast. I learned how to be a radio jock. I'm learning a bunch of things. I'm getting to be on other people's shows. I'm spreading the word. If people didn't like me, they wouldn't invite me. But do I owe Vince a thank you, or do I have to come on here and kiss his ass? Absolutely not. He knows, because the one thing I always do with Vince Russo, I show him the respect and the courtesy that he shows me. I hope that's an eye-opener for everybody on this podcast. I hope it's an eye-opener for the listeners. I hope that the people who actually work for the brand put this in their memory bank, because you know what? It's time to start something new, and it's time to enforce some rules, and it's time to make things happen. You don't want to follow the rules of the brand? You can go work somewhere else. This is not how we carry ourselves. We are an upper echelon company. We want to carry ourselves with dignity, integrity, and pride, people. And you can't buy those in the store. Vince, go ahead.
All right, Vito. Well said. And yeah, that's what it's all about, man. It's all about respecting each other. But again, I've had my fill of social media. I had to learn the hard way. I will continue communicating, like I said, through my Gmail, and go to russosbrand.com. I'm going to start writing a lot more. I know the people that go there and that read, go there for a reason, and they take it seriously, and it's not out of ugliness and hatred. So I encourage you to go there. I also want to take a moment to talk about Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand. Collar and Elbow was founded by Al Snow and based on the traditional values of professional wrestling. You can head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the code Russo, RUSSO, to save 10% off your order. That's code Russo at checkout to save 10%. Collar and Elbow, where wrestling passion meets street fashion. And right now, they just dropped their winter release, beanies, hoodies, and all new designs. Don't get left out in the cold this winter. Collar and Elbow will make sure you get all the heat. That's collarandelbowbrand.com. Also, please check out the new Podcast One app. There is no other podcast app like this. You can download the all-new Podcast One app now in the App Store or on Google Play. Vito, what's going on in your world, bro?
Well, here's what we got going on, guys. We got the YouTube channel at the Big Vito brand. We are up to almost 7,500 views, and we started from 0, people. We did this in a couple months. We have 400 subscribers, which I think is great. Guys, go over to the YouTube channel, subscribe to us, look at our videos. We have a lot of good things. Vince, I put a special video up there of you with your arch enemy, Corey Graves.
Nice.
Sound bites for it, so I know you'll enjoy that. It's an early Christmas gift, and it costs you absolutely nothing. All right, so Big Vito brand also is with Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow has the hoodies, the shirts. We do have a signature series coming out, people. Look for it coming out. It should be coming out shortly. It should be on the website. Collar and Elbow, use the Big Vito code. If you don't remember Big Vito, use the Russo code. You get 10% off. Everybody's a winner at this. And now, if you go to our website, people, bigvito.com, I know people have been asking and been wondering about, if they wanted to donate money because of medical bills, they wanted to send money to help out with things. We made a Amazon wish list. It's on the website, bigvito.com. I also have 2 jackets for sale there that you can purchase. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm cleaning out my closet. It's a bunch of memorabilia, the old Skull Von Crush jacket, and then I have a Nitro Girl jacket. Make an offer. A reasonable offer, guys. I'm not here. I'm not a bargain store. I'm not anything. You make an offer, you can have it. It's the cost of the jacket and shipping. Go to bigvito.com, guys. If you'd like to send us a Christmas gift, if you want to show your appreciation, the Amazon wish list is there. We always accept that. And please, I greatly appreciate the offers of money and donations. That's not what I'm about. I would never take money from people. But if you want to buy a gift, you want to send something, helps with the studio, it helps with some stuff. Hey, great. We appreciate it very much.
Vito, you got to wear when we do the Raw and SmackDown review. Wear those. Can you wear those jackets so people could see them?
I could bring them out for you. Yeah, I have them in the closet.
Yeah, definitely bring them out. So this way, when we do that show it's on Realm on Wednesday and Podcast One on Thursday, they can see the jackets.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll bring that out. And Collar and Elbow is also sending some beanies and some hoodies. What's funny, Vince, is that Collar and Elbow said, "Hey, do you want your own emblem on them? You want your own insignia?" I say, guys, it's not what we're about. We're here to promote Collar and Elbow. If somebody buys my merchandise, hey, great. But I'll wear the Collar and Elbow because I think that's proper business. Collar and Elbow guys are one of our supporters here. They're the guys who provide the good stuff. Go and see them. Go do your thing there. Buy a Christmas gift. Check out Vince Russo's stuff. Check out Vito LaGrasso stuff, bigvito.com. Check out Noelle Harlow LaGrasso stuff. She's got some good stuff. She just had an interview with the Duke of Wrestling. It made the wrestling rumblings of wrestling dirt sheet, which is good. It's getting around. She had a great interview. Also, I think there's a show in the works, Vince. Is there a show in the works that you want to talk about?
Yeah, there's a show in the works that we're going to be putting up on YouTube. Noelle and myself, we're going to be reviewing Teen Mom. We're both big fans of the show. It's the OG series now. We're going to be doing a show on that. I think we're taping that Thursday morning, so we're going to put that up on the YouTube network. Also, remember, guys, Realm Network, man, if you're missing Castrating the Marks, which we moved over to the Realm Network. It's less than $1 a week, bro. You sign up for the Realm Network, less than $1 a week. You get Castrating the Marks commercial free, unedited, uncensored, unadulterated. You also get the shows on video and audio a day earlier than they appear on Podcast One. Plus, you get a lot of exclusive footage that does not air on Podcast One at all. So sign up for the Realm Network, $3.95 a month, 5 shows a week, including Castrating the Marks. Just go to Realm Network, RELM Network.com. Sign up, and also check out, as I said, russosbrand.com. I'm going to start going on that a lot more and writing on there, more on a at least an everyday basis. Follow me on Twitter at the Vince Russo. Also, remember, on Wednesday, we will be back with the Raw and SmackDown review. Tomorrow, after this show airs, I will do a show, That's Life. We'll talk about the important things, in life, what we all deal with on an everyday basis. This is my favorite show of the week. So that will be tomorrow. So listen, man, I want to thank the Big Vito. I want to thank you for watching Getting Color. I will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.